Today's AskReddit post. People who actually had sex with step-siblings. Why? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. A guy I knew in high school got laid in the middle of the football field. So it was notable for many reasons and he bragged around about it. Right after our freshman year of college they became step-siblings lol. Hey beauty, this is your new stepsister. Why don't you two get to know each other while I talk with her mom? WH at RYOU doing step B Rotha? Because if he's gonna be ducking my mom, you bet your ass I'll be ducking his daughter. Comma because if he's gonna be ducking my mom, you bet your ass I'll be ducking his daughter. Your step sibling is ducking your mom. So you're ducking your step sibling's daughter? That's an interesting family dynamic you've got going on. You making a joke? Or did you really not understand what they said? Not me, but an old friend of mine had a stepsister. They were around 14-15 when their families got together, and being at that age and suddenly having a girl who isn't related to you by blood staying in close proximity made it hard for them. I guess one day they realized that since their parents often went home they could literally duck and not have anyone catch them or wonder what they are doing since they're brother and sister. This apparently went on until the sister went to uni. They're both in separate relationships and still get along well, but not too well anymore, if you know what I mean. I think I know what you mean. I'm unsure. Could you spell it out for me? In my hometown there was a reverse case. The boy's mother died and the girl was daughter of a single mom. The two married and always invited their parents for everything. The parents grew close and ended up marrying. So, the first couple ended up being married step-siblings. These case ended on the court, where the judge decided that, while step-sibling marriage is illegal, the law can't be applied to past cases, as they weren't step-sibling when they married, and no law forbid the older couple to marry, as they weren't from the same family before their children's marriage. So everybody got happy ever after. I didn't know it was a law that step-siblings can't marry. Why would that be illegal? Kind of a different perspective, but I dated a girl in high school and it didn't work out. I began dating another girl in college and 2 years later they became stepsisters. I didn't realize this until we met her new stepsister at the mall and she introduced us to each other. We both were horribly awkward silent the whole day and I eventually told my GF later that I used to date her new stepsister. She broke up with me because of it and refuses to talk to her stepsister as well. I think their parents have been married about 5-6 years now. I honestly felt terrible about it. I don't know why you felt bad. It wasn't as if you or the two step-siblings knew what was going to happen later down the road. I will ask if she broke up with as soon as she knew or if she at least tried to get past the awkwardness of the situation. She was trying to steal my lemons. OMFG. Lemon stealing whores. If you were a lemon, I would put you on a shelf and cherish you like all of our lemons. Nice try Pornhub. Go find your own plots. How many times do we have to go through step bro? I can't find the water. Step bro, what is the meaning of life? Because we both wanted to learn more about each other's bodies. At least there is one serious comment. Your question was essentially, hey, people who have had intercourse with a person who isn't related to you, why? So my cousin, he's 21 now, and his stepsister, 20, were dating in high school. They got caught doing the naughty in class and their parents were called in. And his dad, my uncle, and her mom, my now aunt, met and fell for each other and now they're married. So my cousin and his ex-stepsister broke up. I was always super close to my cousin, so I'm close to her too, and knew her pretty well before they were step-siblings. Maybe about a year ago I got high with them and asked them if they ever banged after their parents were married, and they seemed to get pretty uncomfortable and denied it. I giggled a bit because like, that's a yes. She has since admitted to me that they had once, but he won't admit it. I ain't judging them. It's kind of a weird situation. She's not bad looking, so I'd probably have too. What's kinda weird was I was in their house when they had, because the family was drinking and I guess that led to things. I always get a good chuckle when I think of it. Imagine taking your parents to school because you ducked up by ducking your GF only to find out that they are gonna duck you up by ducking your GF's parents and making you and her steps that ducked each other and ultimately ducked up their life. That's a lot of ducking going on, huh? A little backstory. My dad married her mom. I'm the oldest of 3 brothers. She's the oldest of 3 sisters. We all moved into one house. Dad didn't plan this out well because the 3 boys had to share one bedroom and the 3 girls shared another. Oh, and only one bathroom between the 6 of us kids. Anyway, it seemed like she was always having some stupid issue. Upset because braces. Upset because she can't join the Boy Scouts. Upset because of a temporarily swollen nose. With all of that emotion flying around, it had to come out some way. So one night mom and dad are out. The maid is out on a date with the butcher, so us kids are left alone. She and I went to my funky bedroom that used to be my dad's study, then to my funky bedroom in the attic, and something suddenly came up. My friend met this guy while studying abroad and they ended up dating and getting engaged over a 1-2 year period. Then my friend's mother calls and says she's getting married. Long story short, my friend's fiance ended up being her mother's new husband's son he kicked out, cut off, and disowned 8 years earlier. Did they end up getting married, your friend and stepbrother? Yes, but their parents' marriage had ended. They lasted less than 4 months, and his father is now on his 6th marriage. Comma step. Amateurs. From the username to the comment itself, user, are a red flag, of the Confederate variety. My stepsister is hot and I would do it in a heartbeat. Not sure why that's so taboo tbh. We aren't related genetically. There's no difference between her and a stranger on the street. It probably helps that we didn't grow up together and we don't actually consider each other step siblings, but even that's the exact same situation. I think it's mostly taboo if step siblings grow up together. But meeting as adults, I can see how it's not that weird. I had a crush on her long before my mom got with her dad. They didn't get married until we were all teenagers. Not as step siblings, but think it's relevant. My cousin was dating this girl since they were 13. When they turned 16, their parents got a divorce and then got married to each other's. Her mom, my uncle. There was about 6 months where they were both like, "Duck it, this is too easy now." Just because I'm an asshole, I love telling people my cousin is hot. She is drop dead gorgeous honestly, and then explaining the above situation. They are not friendly anymore, although they get along well at family events. She is the most well-adjusted of our family and on the path to be the most successful. The reason people consider most of their cousins attractive is that when one is raised looking at a face shape, they get used to it and find it attractive. But since you were raised with your parents and siblings, you won't find them attractive. However, your cousin has that same attractiveness with the exception of slightly looking different and not raised with you. Closest pussy. Well, our parents moved in together before they got married and we were 16 and horny. We dated off and on for longer than our parents were married, and it was very convenient as a teenager to live in a soundproof basement with my GF living upstairs. It got a little weird when our parents caught us, but they eventually accepted it. Then we broke up. Our parents divorced and we moved to separate states. A little awkward. I'd anticipate a lot awkward. If they're not blood related, and they don't have the sister-brother dynamic and didn't grow up together, why not? The problem starts when you break up. Then what? You'll keep seeing each other and it will be forever uncomfortable. I mean, I don't think it's relationships. It's probably just 2 horny teenagers locked in a house together with all the time in the world to hook up. My stepsister grew up to be a stripper. Her husband and I were friends and I ended up staying with them during a few months of college. One night she came in my room to fake wrestle and got me to chase her to the bedroom. She then took all of her clothes off and her husband said he wanted to see me do her. I said no, but she continued to demonstrate her skills solo, which included putting a large wrench in her vagina. Sorry, but it was too weird. The duck did I just read? Lies. Easy access for horny teenagers. has a forbidden element which makes sneaking around and hiding it from parents more exciting. Mad at parents for marrying moving in another family, and it's a way to act out. Porn shows it so people think porn is real and try to recreate. Do you think step-siblings only considered banging after intercourse was put to video? No, but it probably became more common. Forgot to add, serious. Too late. You're just let it happen and try a game tomorrow. I lost my virginity to my stepsister. She was 15 and I was 13. We grew up very close. And eventually I guess we got too close. LOL. She was petite so she started puberty late and I discovered masturbating right around the same time. It was not anything like the intercourse I have with my wife. Way more giggling and pretending it wasn't happening. Years of abuse. It wasn't my choice. Edit. It was 20 years ago. Gang. I'm in my mid-30s and doing very well. I've had plenty of time to work through the issues that spawned from it. He is no longer in my life. I'm sorry. That sucks. I blame COVID-19. Quarantined and had nothing to do. Are your arms broken? Probably his legs since he went a step down the family tree. He was hot as hell and I couldn't resist and neither could he. Not my story, but a guy I went to college with. His mom and her dad got married. Both of them got kicked out of the house. They were mid-20s. They moved in together, dated, and got engaged. He loved seeing people's reaction when he told them he was marrying his sister. Op needed a serious tag SMH. In all seriousness, it may be a bit taboo but they aren't blood so technically it isn't an issue from an evolution standpoint. Marriage is a man-made construct so in the grand scheme of things it really doesn't matter. I just feel like the better question is why not? Because you were 17 and she was 6. I guess no one remembers the movie Clueless, as if. Because I didn't have a choice in the matter and her reasoning was we aren't related so it doesn't count as incest : I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's rape and I hope you're okay. Stop acting like people sit down with a pro and con chart before doing the nasty. The nasty what are you 9? Edit. Sorry my mom told me to say sorry for being mean so I'm sorry. Seems like this is more common than people think. I went to school with 2 Canadian kids. One boy and one girl. They were really close. Almost like a couple. Always in each other's space wherever they went. Hugging, cuddling in the hallways. They looked cute together too. I later found out that they were step-siblings. Pretty sure they may have smashed at some point. Wouldn't even be surprised. The tension between them was pretty thick. Definitely a scenario which would serve as real-life inspiration fantasy for those who are into that kind of thing. Edit. LOL. Didn't think this'd get so many upvotes. Should I be concerned? Sort of in the same realm, one of my best friends ducked his cousin and it was a story we always would bring up. He said they were at a family function and they were about the same age. He was sitting talking to his aunts and uncles when she came up behind him and was rubbing his shoulders. He thought kinda weird but okay. He had some weed and a bong in his car so he invited her outside to smoke. She claimed she was a veteran smoker but when she went to take an enormous rip apparently she started to vomit all over herself in his car. She clearly was no veteran and admitted it. Since they were at a family function and she had vomit all over herself he snuck upstairs to clean her up. He was waiting on the bed when she came out in a towel and said something to the effect of have you ever thought to do something bad but you still want to do it? They started making out and they ducked LOL. I only know all the details because we made him retell it to people that hadn't heard it. Pretty crazy. Well, if domestic girlfriend has taught me anything it's because A. You already were into them beforehand. Or B. You already banged them beforehand. I'm sure that's exactly how it works. IRL. Y'all MFS built different. See, he was a lawyer. Our parents were no longer married but he worked for my father. And he was kinda cute. Then one day I'm helping my father with his work. Well, apparently I messed up and the other guy we were working with yelled at me. But my ex-stepbrother comforted me and then he called me beautiful and we made out at the top of the stairs. So from that moment on we became a couple. Then we got married. As if. I'm only 16. But we did attend my teacher's wedding, whom I set up, and I totally caught the bouquet and then we made out again. Why not? I was banging my dad's cousin's adopted daughter, adopted second cousin, for like 6 months. We've known each other like 20 years. We were both alone, and figured duck it, why not? His mum, my father, used to see them maybe every 4th weekend for 2-3 years before my father decided he didn't want to see us anymore. So it was more like a family friend and step-sibling relationship. We reconnected around 8 years later and got pretty close talking. Met up after a year or so. Guess you could say daddy issues got the better of me and we tried to be together. 3 years of secrecy and trying to actually be a couple just became emotional torment and he broke it off a month after telling me we would make it work. He got engaged a month later and still messages me once in a while to ask how I'm doing and tells me he still loves me but that it wouldn't have worked and we can't just be friends because then his wife might recognize his tattoo of me. Shit ducked and yup, I'm trying to get therapy. Keep your friends close but keep your enemies closer. That should be a Dr. Phil episode. Pretty sure he covered that. I cover it every morning. Because I wanted to step up to the challenge. Just, no. A lot of joke responses and I don't want to bring everyone down. But sometimes it's straight up rape. In my case I was molested several times and forced oral. It was awful and I struggle with that even though it was 20 years ago. If I saw him today, I might kill him. I'm so sorry this happened to you, comma. I was working as a pizza delivery driver and she answered the door in a negligee. This doesn't really count but it's close enough. We were step siblings for only 18 months in our teens and then our parents divorced. We didn't have much contact for the few years after the divorce but started talking more eventually, and hung out some. We actually eventually started dating and sustained that all through college and a little after for a total of about 6 years. After college we hit a rough patch and broke up. That was 4 years ago. Our parents were very accepting honestly so that made it easy. We always told people, other than our closest friends and family, that we were friends of the family when they asked how we met. LOL. It was weird but we were very much in love and I do miss her. My stepsister got lost in the house, and as I was helping her it got really hot so she took her clothes off and we had intercourse. How rich are you? Or how dumb is she? My dad works in a big building and brings home lots of money when he comes home on the weekends for 1 hour and my stepmom stays home and asks if I have any girlfriends every day. My stepsister graduated pseudo cum laude from Fellatio University. We weren't blood siblings. We used birth control. It was fine. We were both attracted to each other. So why not? It's the same as a one-night stand. But actually, we did it before my stepfather married my mother. So my girlfriend became my sister. Anyways, we're married now so screw you society. My husband and his stepsister were kind of a thing before their parents met. They were like 14ish. Continued to be a thing after their parents married and they even got a house together. Now everyone just kind of pretends it never happened. Oh. Because Roll Tide. Pax Dip. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.